What happens when two dudes, one a retired Navy SEAL commander in Colorado Springs, and the other a hippie meditation teacher in New York City, get together to discuss living mindfully? That's a great question, because we don't know what will happen either. Raw, uncut, and unapologetic. Welcome to Men Talking Mindfulness with co-hosts John McCaskill and Will Schneider. Each week, we take an authentic dive into how mindfulness continually impacts our lives, deepens our relationships, and allows us to be emotionally alive. We filter all of our conversations through the man box, where we unpack how as men we are expected to act in society, how fighting the authentic human experience is exhausting and damaging, and how mindfulness can help. If you would like to listen live, join Will and John every Friday at 12:30 Eastern Time on IG Live at handle @WillNotFear. We take each IG episode and upload them straight to this podcast. So happy you're tuning in to Men Talking Mindfulness. Now, on to the show.
Hey, hello. Welcome back to Men Talking Mindfulness episode. On the site it says 14. This is I think it's our 19th episode we've done. Here comes John, my co-host with Men Talking Mindfulness. But we're actually bringing this into a podcast, which is really exciting. It'll be actually our 14th recorded episode on the podcast. So welcome to episode number 14, as John is going to come on in any moment right now. And there he is. Hey, John.
What's up, brother?
We're in the car again today. I love it.
We are. I tried to come to you from my front porch at my new house, but
oh, shit.
we don't have Wi-Fi there yet, and we're out in the country, so there's no cell phone reception there. So I had to drive. I had to drive about 5 miles to where I could get reception. I'm like, this is different. Definitely not what I'm used to, but. Yes, so here I am in the car again. As a matter of fact, let me move the camera. Maybe the lighting will get a little bit better. But
you're streaming good, John. A big congratulations. So
Thanks,
the house,
man.
you're in the house. The house is yours.
The house is ours, dude. Oh crap! the house is ours. Yeah, bear with me as I get the phone set up. Yeah, so the house is ours. We painted it this week. I don't know if I ever sent you pictures of it, but it was like salmon colored.
Yeah.
It wasn't my favorite color, so we painted it this week, and man, it looks amazing. It's like a dark bluish gray with white trim. It's awesome. We're so excited when we're moving in right now. So moving in stuff from the RV, and the moving truck's supposed to show up some point today. So yeah, this weekend I'll feel a lot more settled. It's going to feel a lot more like it's truly ours. And yeah, so there's that.
What an exciting time. I mean, congratulations. Yeah. That's like no small feat. So
thanks, man.
Must feel really good.
It does. How are you doing, man?
I'm good. I'm still in my apartment, as you can see. But things are good. I'm feeling good. It's definitely getting colder here. The fall, this is primo time for fall foliage. So right. I'm going to close the window. It's getting really loud outside at my windows. Sorry. Oh my God, there's been street work and jackhammers and stuff going on. That's much better.
That always makes for a real good podcast. Having that.
I know, right? It's with all these audio distractions, it's really great to have so many. Why don't we, let's get started, but let's do our little grounding exercise.
Let's do it, man.
How about, I'll take care of this one. I feel I can ground you down a little bit. I'm excited about the show, so I'm always a little amped up.
Yeah.
But let's find our seat. If you're sitting down or you want to lie down, it's out there and just kind of relax, then we can go into that place. All right. So just take a few moments, make it comfortable in your body. Maybe you can relax your jaw, roll your head a little side to side if that's helpful for you. And then find some stillness, and we'll just take a few big breaths here, just really allowing the breath, and it has an amazing ability, the breath, to help to calm our ass down just by taking some big breaths. And if you really want to feel more calm, then really focus and get very intentional how you're exhaling. Exhale with peacefulness and relaxation and a nice sense of grounding you into the here and now. So let's work with that. Just the breathing to feel that grounding. So let's exhale the breath all the way out. Feel yourself drop all the way in to your pelvis, all the way down into your sit bones, and then fill up with a big inhale. And exhale nice and easy. So you can go through the mouth or exhale through the nose if you like, but really drag it out and draw it out and really calm and peacefully, like very intentional how you're exhaling. And let's keep going in. And let it go out. There you go. Yeah, just keep breathing, cycling through. And the bigger your inhale, by really working for a proactive, deeper and larger quantity of breath, then you have more of an exhale, more of a relaxing exhale to find and to play with, and also to help work for you. You can calm down even more, bringing a hand across your chest and a hand onto your belly, just making contact. And let's just keep breathing big and slow and very intentional. We'll just do 5 more. In, big breath. Out with a slow breath. And again, in. And using the mind just to kind of cue in and just listen to the quality of the breath and help you change and access and find that quality of breath. We'll do 1 more breath. Big inhale. And let it go out. Just check in for a moment, see how you're feeling now. I'm feeling more grounded, I'm feeling more relaxed, I'm feeling more kind of excited for this episode as well. And then you can open your eyes when you're ready and get ourselves ready for this episode. So welcome back. I hope that, God, I can only imagine what it's like to have a family, moving into a new house, painting, furniture. So
it's a mess, man. That's what it is.
Great.
Yeah, thanks, man. It's whoops, I got you on the horn and I just laid on the horn. So yeah, it's fun, but yeah, it's a little nerve-wracking too. And just taking care of the family. And man, talking about taking care of the family, I think that kind of rolls into our conversation in that we want to talk about dominance and it wasn't anger, but dominance, aggression. Yeah. So I think I told you yesterday, I started cutting down my Instagram so that it's a private account. I had somebody text me that there was another account with my pictures and my videos on it. And I went and checked it out. And sure enough, it's a fake account. Somebody else is behind it, but it's obviously my pictures. And then what really got to me was there were pictures of my daughter on there and videos of my daughter that I had posted, I don't know, months and months ago. I'd gone through and I thought I'd scrubbed social media and removed all these pictures and videos. But apparently somebody had pulled them before I removed them. And this guy was using this fake Instagram account to solicit money from women saying, hey, I'm a soldier overseas and the US government doesn't have enough money to pay for me to come home. Can you please send $12,000 to some account to bring me home? And anyway, the tie-in here is yesterday when I found that out and saw that there were videos of my daughter on somebody else's account, I went high and right. I got really angry.
Yeah.
And I wanted to dominate this person. And so I went on a full private eye side and I asked this person that had contacted me, letting me know that this account existed. I was like, hey, do you have any contact information? and I got the dude's telephone number.
Wow.
And so I texted him, and I'm like, hey, who are you, blah blah blah, and I started like going off, and I realized about 5 minutes into it, what's the point here? You know, all I'm going to do is get angry, and I'm trying to dominate this person that I don't even know is real, from the other end of the world. Don't know where this person is. So why don't I just report the account, block the number, block the email, and the account's been taken down, thankfully. But I guess my whole point is dominance is tied to anger and tied to aggression. And my aggression, like I want to express that aggression through the telephone, through text, and that never works. And all that happened was I got upset. And what would have been more productive was for me to just take a step back, take some breaths like I had, report this fake account, and just be done with it. But I think there's a piece in us as males, particularly, or maybe it's type A particularly, that we want to dominate. We want to dominate others in a group. And then as males, I think quite often we feel as though we are the dominant gender, when in fact, I mean, that's not true at all. Dominance, it doesn't come from gender, and dominance can be a very hurtful emotion, hurtful thought on both ends. One, if you're dominating, you're basically objectifying everybody else in your life.
Yeah.
And you have no way to connect on a truly personal and emotional level. And then the other side is, if you're being dominated, that just makes you feel inadequate to be a part of a group, to be a part of a relationship. And I mean, what does that do for anyone? So yeah, that was just my 2 cents on dominance. And so far anyway, I know we're gonna talk for a bit longer, but yeah, what I know, normally you have like the definition pulled up, and I'm wondering if you have that before you, because I'm really curious what the formal definition of domination is, or what your thoughts are on it in general, if you don't have that pulled up.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Well, what I really, as I'm researching and reading and understanding dominance, and also seeing how it plays out in my life, there's also, I mean, as with men, we struggle with this a lot. And there's like dominant hierarchical structures in every kind of like social dynamic. And that's because of this biological nature, especially like trying to be that alpha male, right? We begin to put ourselves into like a structure of hierarchy. Like we have the alpha, and a lot of some of the research that I did, it's like it really comes down to men, because to really speak to that biological need, is it comes down to mating opportunities, right, and resources, right? Because number one, I mean, well, biologically we're wired to procreate, right, and survive or thrive, right, and dominance, right, is important because it creates, like, if we are that dominant male, right, or trying to aspire to be that dominant male and kind of overtake that dominant male, we have more mating opportunities, which, mating, sex, like, it feels good. We feel good about ourselves, but also creates more offspring for us. So we can be like, look at like, hey, that's my child. That's my, that's my son. That's my daughter. But it also creates more resources for us as well. Because not only like resources like food, shelter, clothing in some ways, because the way we are and the way we've been designed as a society is through this dominant biological structure in a lot of ways, that if I am more dominant or more like a king in some ways, people just start doing and giving and providing things for me. So therefore I have a lot of my needs met, and I have a lot of my resources that are already taken care of, so I can continue to just be the king.
Right.
So they also call it like a pecking order as well. I mean, I know when I get into a situation, say you're going out with a group of men, or a group of guys, and there's only like say 4 or 5 guys, and there's only you're trying to meet some women, there's only like 2 or 3 women around. You start seeing dynamics within that male confluence that people start like trying to show their dominance, trying to push some weight or energy around in order to kind of rise to the top, right? So they can get noticed, so they can be, so they can have more mating opportunities and therefore more resources available to them, right?
Yeah.
So
The peacock.
what's that?
It's like the peacock, like puffing out his chest and like spreading his feathers, which actually looks kind of like the design of the thing behind you.
Right.
And you hit on a great point there about the breeding and mating and breeding. A piece that I hadn't thought about before the conversation. The type A is normally the strongest, or not the type A, sorry, the alpha male, alpha dog, alpha whatever you imagine, is normally the strongest, normally the most aggressive, normally the one with the genes that want to get passed on.
Right.
And in ancient times, in humanity, that's what we wanted, right? We wanted somebody who was going to be strong, somebody who could survive in nature, in the wilderness, better than anyone else. And in being the type A, or sorry, again, the alpha male, those traits would get passed on. If you're the alpha male and you're dominant in a society, you're going to be able to mate more often. Hence, the stronger traits would get passed on, and the weaker traits would get weeded out through time.
Right.
But are we in that life anymore? Are we in a life where we have to be strong physically to survive? Sure, there's still traits that we want to pass on. We want our offspring to be healthy. We want them to be strong. We want them to be smart. Yeah. But are those traits that are exclusive to the alpha male or the alpha dog? They're not. Yeah. In this day and age, you don't have to be the alpha dog, the alpha male, to be able to pass strength on, to be able to pass intelligence, health on. So it's almost as though dominance is almost an irrelevant, or at least dominance in the reproductive side and breeding. It's an irrelevant thing that we've continued to carry on in our lives. So where you do go to a bar and you're with 6 guys, and there's two prospects there. I'll say prospects. And you puff out your chest. It makes me think of I don't know if you ever saw the movie Couples Retreat.
Oh no, I've heard of it. No.
It's hilarious, man. There's a scene where like this yoga teacher, he's in really good shape, and these couples are coming to the couples retreat to mend their relationship. And the men show up thinking that the yoga instructor is going to be a woman. They realize that it's not a woman. It's this really in shape man, and they're threatened by him. So one of the men like puffs out his chest and he walks up, and the yoga instructor's like, "Oh, peacock," because he has this accent. It's a hilarious scene. But that's exactly how we are. We're like these peacocks that are trying to puff our chests and express our not just dominance but superiority. Right. And that's what I believe dominance is tied to, is this feeling of superiority. And is that a rational feeling in this day and age? I don't believe it is. We shouldn't be feeling superior. This goes back to our conversation about pride, superiority, it just wears thin, wears relationships thin, and there's no place for it in friendships. There's no place for it in relationships with significant others. There's no place for it in workspace. So anyway.
Well, no, I think it's like, I feel, a lot of the things we're talking about, and why like we even have this whole platform of mindfulness for men, is because we're kind of going away from the archaic structures of manhood and the hierarchical structures that, typically, men have been pretty much dominating our how we do things for a very, very long time. I think, and I say that not to be sexist or anything like that. It's just historically, we always talk about the kings. We always talk about the leaders. We talk about, the military leaders, or I'm watching The Man in High Castle, the Führer, like always, going into this this hierarchical, like linear paradigm of always going up, and always like aspiring to be the alpha, to exude alphaness, to be more dominant, to be more controlling. And then we need, in order to find those things, that we need to be aggressive in order to show our dominance, to have that peacocking, to have that puffy chest. But I feel like we're really entering a new way of doing things. Like if epigenetics is real, and it is, right? Epigenetics is is a genomic science that is showing that our DNA in our bodies is influenced by our environments, whether it's the social environments, whether it's a physical environment. And, our bodies as human beings, as Homo sapiens, are like millions of years old. And as an industrial society, what we've been around for 150, 200 years, where we're actually, our lives are becoming more comfortable, and we don't always have to fight for our survival. Right. So I feel like these dominant mechanisms are so ancient and so much a part of our DNA, and therefore so much a part of our expression of our DNA, which is how we are as a person and therefore in society, that we're really battling against something that, like you said earlier, isn't necessary anymore. I mean, it's important to be a good leader. It's important to be a very clear leader. But the leadership style doesn't have to be like, you do what I say, shut up, sit down, right? If you don't like it, tough shit. Like that doesn't work anymore, and nor should it, because we're starting, I feel like everybody should have a voice in a lot of ways. And that's the way we have a happier, more productive, and more inclusive society, by having like more of a compassionate leadership and understanding and listening, instead of it being this aggressive, dominant, linear structure that kind of disenfranchises a lot of people and kills a lot of the creativity and a lot of the progress that we can make as people in the society.
Absolutely. I mean, if think about if only the big, tough, knuckle dragging men reproduced. Well, quite honestly, I think that would be at the detriment of our. It would be at the detriment of our human race,
right?
Because they would pass on the strength, the physical strength, but maybe not the sensitivity. They would maybe not pass on the intelligence. Right. So, like, if only, let's see, and I don't have anything against big strong guys. I mean, I'm friends with plenty of big strong guys.
I'm a big strong guy. I'm a big strong guy.
Right.
Right, 6'3", 200 pounds, all muscle. Like, yeah, I'm strong, but like I'm also a strong heart. I have a strong will. I have a compassionate mind.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Anyway,
well,
but I am strong.
I think you should change your Instagram to strong will.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, think about how much society has benefited from those who may not be as physically strong, may not be physically dominant. I mean, we have technology from so many. We have
Stephen Hawking.
What's that?
Stephen Hawkins.
Yes, a perfect example. Example.
Confined to a chair, but a brilliant mind.
Right. Brilliant mind. Right. Yeah. Absolutely. Stephen Hawking's. I mean, heck, you look at many of those in the science and technology world. If you looked at them, you may not be like, hey, that's the alpha dog, but they are incredibly intelligent. And the healthcare side, I mean, would we have many of the vaccines that we have? Would we have many of the procedures that we have if all that dominated were the big, hairy, scary, strong men, right? No, we wouldn't. And we would be worse off because of it, because the genes that needed to be propagated weren't.
Right.
So again, it's though we have evolved to the point where the natural DNA side of our dominance is almost irrelevant.
Yeah.
It's wild, man. To think, like, They should make a movie about that where only those who were big and hairy and scary were, with their genes propagated, only those.
Yeah.
I think we would be looking at the extinction of the human species.
Well, I think, but that's funny you say that, because I feel we're living that movie in some way, John, because we're still, mindfulness is coming to the forefront as like kind of an elixir or a cure for this pervasive dominant masculinity that is causing our planet to collapse, because, we just have a linear structure and don't think beyond, what is going to make us money, and then just kind of hiding the fact of how we're just destroying the planet. And there's so many different things like that, that it's just like we're still working off a very old system of doing things. And part of this old system, it relies on that alpha dominant way of doing things that, that has gotten, we have a pretty impressive world. I feel like the way we build things, the way things are running in society, but that old way of doing things is we're seeing that it's not necessary anymore. It is just not necessary to be so dominant. I like the idea of dominant, but I don't, right? I think it's important. And I guess it just comes down to oh shit, John will come back in a second. It comes down to good leadership. You don't need, you people that are out there listening, leaders that are bosses, right? That are just like telling what to do, taking credit for X, Y, and Z, and just always making it about me. Instead of, right, a true leader helps push people forward, listens to ideas, brings people together. Instead of it being about me, it's being about we, right? And that's not dominant. That's leadership. And dominant, I'm not trying to dominate somebody, dominate a situation. Part of the whole dominance thing is trying to stand out. I don't necessarily need to proactively stand out. I'm going to stand out with my ideas, with my beliefs, with bringing people forward, with being more inclusive with people. That is what's going to, kind of make me stand out, because of how I'm making other people stand out, and getting into that concept of like win-win, where we all get to go. I just want to turn on commenting. No, he's coming in a second. Where we all get to go, instead of it just being about one person getting to go, and one person taking care of all those needs, and everyone else's needs are secondary. I thought it'd be interesting, because I always take some notes and do some research here. I just want to make sure I get John here in a second. Is like, and then I'm going to go into the feelings, the actual feelings when John comes back, or I'll just talk about my own feelings around dominance, not that the actual feelings of dominance, and what I try to do in order to prevent those feelings from coming up. And here comes John. And instead do something and make a choice that's more mindful. So there he is.
Dude, this is why you're the host and I'm the co-host, man.
No, we are co-hosting, dude. Like, yeah, that's why it's co-host. Yeah, well, I guess, all good. It's all good. We're back. So why don't we take it more personal, John, and let's talk about our, not the idea or the feeling, or I want to really get into dominance and the experience of when we feel dominant, or there are situations where we have, gotten all peacocky and really opening everything up. Because I think that'd be really helpful for everyone to just hear our own struggles with dominance, or, however we want to kind of move this through talking about dominance. I could only imagine, John, like all that dominant alpha peacocking that's going on when you're going through your buds training or any in the military. I mean, it's got to be rampant, because everyone wants to be, that dominant people. Like here's one thing that I thought was really interesting about dominant traits is they want to stand out. You know what I mean? That's that whole bravado thing. They lead and don't follow. I struggle with that all the time. Like nobody tells me what to do. Like nodding up instead of nodding down. Like nodding up, hey, what's up? Hey, what's up? Hey, what's up? Instead of being humbly when you go down. Right. Again, that puffy chesting, open chest and legs and hips, and just kind of like, think of like a fighter walking to the ring. It's like boom, like a gorilla, whoa, right?
Yeah.
And letting other people do the work is another thing of dominance. Like, you know, little stuff like the little peon stuff, like washing my own dishes or making my bed, or, you know, or having someone else take notes in a meeting instead of you, or something like that. That's another dominant trait. You know, not being afraid to speak up when someone kind of falls out of line and forgets who you are, and wanting to be, again, that center of attention, which is, these are more masculine dominant traits. Like, I mean, women, I've imagined their dominant traits to be very similar, especially like wanting to stand out. But I'm sure their pecking order behaves a little bit differently than men. But you know, having that information, what are some of your experiences? I mean, you're a Navy SEAL commander, you know, so you had a leadership role, which could be a dominant leadership role, or could be more of a kind of like, hey, we get to do this together kind of role. So, what are some of the things that you struggle with dominance?
Yeah, great question, man, and great setting that up. So, yeah, I think in the military, with the hierarchy that's established, there is, you know, a natural setup for those who are higher ranking to see themselves as superior, and that goes back to superiority being tied to dominance. But the true leaders, regardless of rank, are those who are the servant leaders, and those who are, you know, really, those who are under them as far as rank, they feel those are the ones who they are serving, not those who are the ones who are working for me. So, like, I was a commander in the SEAL teams, and, you know, everybody below the rank of commander within my organization, in a way, worked for me, or at least was lower ranking than me. But the way I viewed it was that I was truly working for them. My goal was to get them the missions that they wanted. My goal was to explain how great these people were,
Right,
and the attributes that they had, so that they could go and do the work that they needed to do. My goal was to remove barriers for them.
right.
If they had a mission, or if they had an objective that they needed to accomplish, my goal was to remove that whatever it was that was inhibiting them. So I believe, yes, there are certainly those who are type A, well, not type A, again, alpha male dominant, because I believe that I'm type A. I believe that I'm type A, and that I want to get things done.
Yeah.
That I have task orientation, that I want to get the mission done. I don't think there's anything wrong with being type A. Being the dominant alpha male, where I walk into a room and I'm like, hey, look what I'm wearing on my collar. I'm a commander, damn it, respect me. No, man, that's not how things get done. And I always appreciated leaders like that, in that I would learn from them, hey, that's not what I want to do. Because as soon as they walk in and they act as though they're better than everybody in the room, that they're the smartest people in the room, they instantly lose credibility. They're not wanting to be a servant leader. And that's truly what I believe leaders are. Not based on rank, not based on superiority, not based on dominance, but those who have empathy, going back again to our empathy episode, empathy and compassion for those that they're leading, and they want to empower those that they're leading to get the job done.
Boom.
Yeah, that's the difference there, man. But I'll be honest, I've run into times when I mean, hell, going through SEAL training, there's times when you're like, damn it, get the job done, because there's sometimes it's just hard to relate, and sometimes you lose track of who you are and what you're wanting to do. So that comes back to the mindfulness. What is it that you're experiencing? What is it that you want to portray yourself as? Who is it that you want to portray yourself as? And if it's if you're not in touch, you can easily go from being that servant leader into being a dominant type of person, where what you're doing is wearing your rank and holding that rank over people and not truly leading. That's where you have to be mindful in who you are and how you express yourself, how you express what you need done, and then caring for those that you're around. So mindfulness comes into play with dominance. Mindfulness comes into play with the being empathetic and compassionate, and that's what being a leader is all about.
Yeah, I agree. I agree, and I also oh fuck, I had a thought. Okay, yeah, the ones that are really overly dominant, really like, you know, puffing that chest or finding those peacock feathers. I think it's also, and the reason we get turned off is because I think it exudes a tremendous amount of insecurity.
Yes.
It
Yes, it does.
exudes a tremendous amount of unconfidence, lack of confidence.
Yeah.
You know, you can see somebody that when they walk in a room and they're just comfortable being themselves, and you're immediately like, whoa, like, what's up with that guy? Just comfortable in his own skin, or woman comfortable in their own skin, and just being like, here I am. And that takes some work, you know. I mean, that takes it takes a lot of work on your own, or it takes like good parenting, or having a really great great group of people around you that keep you in check, and that demand that you want, that continually ask for you, right, to show up as your calm, cool, loving, compassionate self, but still in your power. I mean, that doesn't mean you're weak by being calm, cool, and compassionate at all. I think that's where natural power comes from. It's just by being okay, being open, listening, and just taking things as they come, instead of trying to dominate that situation and be super assertive so everybody knows that you're there. And I mean, I get super turned off by people like that. As soon as they come in, like, I start tuning out. And this also might be kind of my alpha coming through. It's like, this guy doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. Like, I'm the motherfucker. You know what I mean? It's like, so trying to, like, you know, just to talk about dominance in my own life, it's like, I keep coming back. I have two brothers. You know, I have a large, male family, like extended family. And my whole life growing up, like, we are still, like, in my generation and my parents' generation is still kind of living in that old pecking order kind of hierarchy structure, social structure. And so we were always kind of like, who has the loudest voice, who is able to run faster, or lift more weights, or who can kick the most ass within the family, you know? And then we would play that out on playing whatever sport we were doing, whether that was like swimming or volleyball or basketball. We're always like, rah! And I think those competitive parts of my life have been very, very valuable, because, you know, I get to explore myself as a young man and understand, like, what I can do physically, and things that, and that sense of achievement when you really do something, achieve something with sports, I think is very healthy, and been very healthy for me as a person and my own development. But as I've gotten older, you know, it's the more I get comfortable with who I am, what I'm doing, like I talked about earlier, and not like, you know, I definitely have a thing with trying to seek for attention sometimes, but also, you know, just not like, you know, even just letting that go, and just even being aware of that. And again, how I get there, how we get there is that meditation, is knowing my feelings. And when I want to get aggressive in order to express a potential for dominance, or try, like, can I just step back, right, and then lead from behind in some ways. Like, I always picture, every time I kind of think of like real great leadership, and like you've talked about, is I think of a picture of a wolf pack, where they'll have a pack of wolves, like 12 wolves in this, in the, what do they call it? It's not a pride, that's lions. It's pack. It's a pack, right? They have the slowest and oldest in front.
Yep.
They have, in the middle are the ones that are younger, and all the way in the back is the leader of the pack, who sits back and watches everybody and takes care of everybody and is there when you need them.
Right.
You know, and then at that point would exude, you know, that dominance over that situation in order to take care of whatever that that situation is, and imagine an emergency if you need to get dominant and just to protect your group, and then you just go right to the back of the pack, just like you're talking about. I love what you said about being a SEAL commander. It's just like, fostering a good team, giving people the supporting people with the needs that are required in order to accomplish that particular task. And really just continually looking out for everybody, and you kind of being last. And that's where what I would like to see. That's why we're doing this work. This is why I keep doing the work I'm doing, to really begin for people to understand what actually effective leadership is. So instead of telling people and demanding, right, helping, when you cut out, I went into like kind of the difference between a boss and a leader.
Yes.
The boss is always about like me, look what I did, boost myself up, give no credit, take all the credit, where a leader is, says we instead of me, right? Fosters that enthusiasm, helps people get done, leverages resources and help them find resources, and really getting into that love that concept of a rising tide lifts all boats. Yes. And if you're going to be a great leader, we've said it many times in this podcast, if you're going to be a great leader or want to be a great leader, then learn to be a good follower. Like that's basic, like Confucianism. That's a very fundamental aspect of leadership within Confucianism, is just being a good follower in order to understand what's required to be a good leader.
Yeah, absolutely love that, man. And I love that wolf pack analogy. I've seen that picture. I love it. I actually saw it like 2 weeks ago, and I was like, oh, this is amazing. A great analogy for leadership in a group, right?
Yeah.
And then the whole pack, that mentality, they're not looking up front for that leader. They're looking for somebody who is serving them. And that's why that leader wolf, that alpha dog is in the rear, kind of watching out for the whole pack.
Yeah.
The other side of things, you said a sentence there, in that the times that you need to be dominant. And that's an important thing here. So at the beginning of the conversation, I said dominance is irrelevant in society, and that we want everybody to be able to propagate their traits, propagate their genes for the betterment of humanity. But there are times that you will need to be dominant. They're few and far between, and that's the thing we need to understand. They're not as common as they used to be. Those times are not as common as they used to be. But there will be times that you need to be dominant. In that, let's say you are, for instance, on a battlefield, and I'm the leader, and there's shit going down. There's going to be times when that leader, whether it's me or somebody else who is dominant, needs to step up and take charge. If we're under a threat, right? Let's say you, me, and like three other dudes, or three other people rather, are walking on the street, going to have dinner, and some punk comes up trying to steal money from us. And like, for some reason, Batman is coming into my mind right now. But one of us is going to have to step up and neutralize that threat. Obviously, if it's five of us and one little peon, we can probably take them. But if it's one dude with a gun or something, one of us is going to have to be dominant. And when I say neutralize that threat, I don't mean kick this dude's ass. I mean, it might be, hey, I'm going to be dominant in this situation so that level heads will prevail. Let's give this guy our wallets, because it's not worth getting shot over. And maybe that's when we need to establish dominance over. And at that times, maybe it's the one who's mentally dominant and not physically dominant. And that's another difference out there, is what is dominance? What are the different types of dominance? And when is it good and not good to be dominant? So I want to make sure that I put that caveat out there, in that I mentioned I mentioned dominance being irrelevant. It's not completely irrelevant in this day and age, but so there's a time and place for it, and a type of dominance that you need to be able to tap into. at different times as well.
I mean, we have like, we come back to the wolf pack, or just even what you talked about initially about your, you kind of stepped up into that dominant, like aggressive role because your family was threatened, or you felt your daughter could be threatened, right? So it's like rushing ahead and be like, I check out. Like if somebody's going to hurt somebody that I love, right? I just step right up. And I get big. Like, it's funny. Like, it naturally, my body gets bigger. Like, my voice gets deeper, right? And I'm like, and you're just talking about it right now, and my energy is starting to really flow, and I can feel that aggressiveness coming through. But that's very rare. Like, if somebody's gonna, fuck with my flock, then I'm gonna have to step up. I'm not gonna like let somebody hurt other people in my group. And maybe, if I'm around my bigger brother, he's probably more likely to jump to that role because he's kind of always ready to go. And he was like the firstborn. So he kind of naturally has more of that alpha, I guess, male part of him because he was just firstborn and always kind of looking out for everybody else. But dominance is definitely like, in that situation, it's just like dominance in order to get back to peace in some ways, or just to kind of eradicate a threat. I think that's a really good distinction you bring up, but it's not, there are times for it, but by being more mindful, we get to know like when, or we'll just, or just trust that part of our essence as a human being, as a man, is going to be readily available. It's not like we need to continually practice it or make that a way that we always are expressing our masculinity. Right. It doesn't work. You're going to piss off a lot of people and not have a lot of friends if you're always around dominant, like, oh, it's all about me. It's all about me. You should listen to me. You're wrong. Always nodding up, or always like trying to push somebody down so you can lift yourself up. Like, we know people like that. And sure. I've seen people like that, and they're just like, I feel they're going to be very lonely as they go through life, and probably very sad and empty, because there's another way that we continually talk about connecting to other people and really wanting to help other people and being compassionate with other people by being compassionate with yourself. Those are just, that's the way that I want to continually find ways to live and practice. And it's not just like this stuff just comes right out. Once you kind of think about it, it's a practice. And that's why grounding down, taking that meditation and working on that self-reflection, helps me, right, to when those situations arise, it's like, okay, wait, who do I need to be right now? Or like, or just even also understanding what it's like just to be peaceful, just to get quiet, just to be still, and maybe not even do anything.
Right. Yep. Wow. And you're not going to realize that's what you need to be if you're not familiar or you're not comfortable practicing mindfulness.
Right.
So that's hugely important, man.
Yeah. Practicing stillness and silence, and being more emotionally aware. We're getting, we have like maybe a few more minutes, John, before we should probably close out. I got another, like, this is just such a powerful conversation, I feel, because it's just so pervasive, dominance in our society. I mean, it is, it is changing. I feel slightly, I feel our leadership now on the federal level is very hyper dominant and masculine in a lot of ways. That's a good example of how things don't seem to be working very well. And what can you do differently? How can you, be more of a mindful man, more of a compassionate man? And that doesn't make you weak. It actually makes you more powerful. And you're going to be able to connect with more people and grow your business, grow your family, find that loved one, have more success in your life because you're more open, available, and listening and compassionate and kind.
Yeah. It's easy to be dominant. It's easy to be aggressive. It's easy to be that one who puffs your chest out and pushes everyone else around.
Yeah.
It's really hard to be empathetic,
right,
and compassionate. And the easy road is for the weak.
Yeah, and the ignorant, I feel, because they're ignorant of their feelings, ignorant of what it means to listen, what it means to connect, what it means to be like a leader that allows like that that brings people forward. It's like, I'm sorry to cut you off, but I just want to say there's also an ignorance with dominance too. But I feel what, sadly, you know, if you're come from a very, I'd say you have a very domineering father, right? You're going to be modeling that until you realize, if you ever realize that, oh wait, that doesn't work. Oh, that's been the problem that is keeping me to achieving more peace, happiness, success, wealth, whatever. So,
yeah, spot on, man. Spot on. I think that's a good way to wrap it up.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, well, awesome, man. I will close us out with another grounding exercise. Get us back, because even talking about dominance, it's got me amped up again.
No, totally.
Yeah.
I want to go out and make, John. I want to go out and make. I'm kidding.
Yep. Well, cool, man. So yeah, for those tuning in, watching, whether you're watching us here on IG Live, or whether you're going to watch us later on IGTV or on Venmo or on the podcast soon to be, listening in, go ahead and assume a comfortable position. And for now, what I want you to do, since we're talking dominance and how that can be detrimental, what I want you to do is lay your hands open on your thighs, facing up, with the palms facing up, because that is a position of vulnerability, a position where you're not being dominant, a position where you're going to be opening yourself up to potential threats. But you're in a safe place, you're in a safe space, and you're doing something that's going to be good for you. So bring your awareness to your breath, sitting nice and upright, but not too rigid, relaxed. Awareness to your breath. And what we're going to do is belly breath superset. So as you breathe in, I want you to breathe in with your belly as much as you can, and then take an extra sip of breath to inflate your chest. And then as you breathe out, imagine your navel collapsing towards your spine. And we're going to do that 3 times. Breathe in, inhale belly, inhale chest, hold it, let it out. Imagine your navel going to your spine. Inhale belly, inhale chest, hold it, let it out. Belly to your spine. One more. Inhale belly, inhale chest, let it out. Belly to your spine. Now, just breathe naturally for a second. Bring your attention to your palms and your hands, how that feels. And we'll close with 3 more belly breaths. This time what I want you to do is, as we breathe in, at the top of the breath, clench your hands as tightly as you can for the hold, and then release them as we breathe out. So we'll breathe in, clench hands, hold, release, unclench hands. There you go. Inhale belly, inhale chest, clench your hands, and release. Inhale belly, inhale chest, clench, and release. Last one. Inhale belly, inhale chest, clench, hold it, and release. And notice how that feels. Notice how you feel now, and then bring your awareness to what you felt before we did the grounding exercise. What difference is there? Do you feel more relaxed? Some of the tension released? Focus on that difference. Go ahead, as you're ready, invite some more movement back into your body. And then gently, when you're ready, open your eyes and come back. All right. Yeah. I'm definitely de-amped.
Yeah, I know, right? Now I'm definitely more calm. Yeah, that felt good, John. I was going to say something dominant, but I'm not. Hey, at least we're having some fun.
Yes,
as we become more mindful. Hey, thanks, John. Wonderful.
Thank you, man.
We're back next week. And everyone out there, that podcast will be launched very soon. We're just have a couple of things to tie up and tie together, so you can listen to these on all your devices anytime that you like. So thank you so much for all tuning in. Thank you, John, once again.
Thank you, Will.
Congrats on your home, John. That's so exciting. I can't wait. I hope everyone else is excited. I am, because they keep asking about it every week. I can't wait to hear your latest development.
Hopefully next week I'll have some Wi-Fi and maybe I'll broadcast from the back deck or something.
Yeah, that would be really exciting. Cool.
Great. All right,
Thanks, John.
Thank you, and have a wonderful weekend, man. Take care.
You too. Thanks, everybody out there. Happy Indigenous Day Monday, right? Indigenous
that's right.
People Day and Columbus Day. So
that's right. Absolutely. Take care, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining Will and John on Men Talking Mindfulness. If you enjoyed the show, please like and share it with your friends and family, and please, we would appreciate a review too. Until next time, this has been Men Talking Mindfulness. Thanks for showing up.